everybody. Here I am. Not rocking like a hurricane. Not rocking anybody right now. I'm sick again. This is a different kind of sick. I was gut sick before. Now I'm like cold sick or something. I don't know. I got all my I got all my appropriately government endorsed things, so this must be something that aliens created. Um, Probably a dread disease that's going to be out there amongst the things. Things meaning the world, the stuff that's out there, you know. Oh my goodness! I hope everybody has had a great day. I'm having a time. I don't expect this will go very long tonight. Actually, be surprised if very many people show up. Um, Tonight is a little bit different. I knew I was sick and not feeling well, and I had a brief moment where I felt better. The last Saturday-ish. Hey, Bud Files, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. And during that time, I started watching the programs in the community that I normally lurk in, because when I was gut sick, honest, I was just laying down most of the time. I did lurk a few times, but it just wasn't in me. Um, this isn't as bad. I'm a little feverish. I get kind of the clammy feeling, kind of a cough going on. Been cutting back on the sauce, so taking care of that so that that's not being a problem. Let the lungs get a break if I'm going to be sick. But when I was feeling a little bit better, I started watching those shows, and I noticed there's some significant changes. Some significant changes in our community in a very, very short amount of time. I'm not going to talk about people or incidents or channels or anything like that tonight. I am going to talk about our community, though. I think this is a very unique and hey, welcome, Keebler. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Some of the changes are kind of exciting. Some of the changes are interesting. And some of them are, well, they're a little on the scary side for me. I've been a member or a participant. Oh, forgot to turn on the do not disturb. Let me fix that. Let's see here if I can go to the settings and sounds. Where is it at? No, that's not it. Well, anyway, there we go. Okay, now we should be mostly quiet. I think if an alarm goes off, that'll still come through. Jam Pro, welcome, welcome. Glad you could make it in here. Anyway, these changes I've seen. Exciting ones are new people participating in music and looking at new ways to participate with music, and interact with other people in a much more personal and fun way. That's exciting to me, and I'm happy to be a part of that. That's kind of been a theme of this community ever since I came into it about 4.5 years ago, roughly. I wasn't paying attention to the date. I didn't know it was going to be a big deal. Tim, How you doing, brother? Good to see you. I hope I feel better soon. And I'm looking forward to your next live. I have some headroom. I could probably bring it up a little bit. I did turn my gain down just a touch. I'll bring that up a little bit. That should get me in there a little bit better. JamPro can let me know for sure. I know my audio is now set properly within StreamYards and with all the things that have been going on. But anyway, that should hopefully make it better and bring that back up. So I. Yes, yes. No, no, no. It was me. I'm getting used to the new setup and adjusting, and sometimes I make adjustments in the wrong places, and that's one where I made an adjustment on the gain control on the Focusrite, and I shouldn't have. I should have made uh, an adjustment on the headphone vocal control that controls my vocal sound to my headphones. But sometimes I still make mistakes. Imagine that. So I'm excited to see these new roads coming in and this kind of injection of potential excitement. I've seen some questions being asked and some things being happened out there, and it excites me to see that. Anything that makes music happen is a better thing to me. Um, if there's any stray noises, I've got the roommate's grandson's spending the night. He's crashed out on the couch right now, but he may come and he may come and ask a question or say something because I'm talking. But anyway, other than that, should be a pretty normal night. Uh, Thank you very much, Jampro. I really appreciate you. Yes. And the things that I've been working with Justin and Marshall in particular, um, Justin leading the band in his fantastic sort of way is to get rid of the variables at the studio level. If you can eliminate as many variables as possible at the studio level, then you can eliminate many more problems at the streaming level. And having people out there being able to set up a simple audio setup to be able to run, whether they're on a phone or a tablet or a setup like mine or Marshall's or Justin's, is nice. And that's the direction it's headed, and I'm pretty excited to see that. So fantastic stuff out there. Um, and yeah, I much the same for me. And there's been a learning curve with that. The learning curve in understanding how to make me sound the way I think I ought to sound to me, not to you, because the stuff that I should be adjusting shouldn't affect you. So, oh man, thank you. This is a hell of a compliment. Look at that right there. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to read it out loud because it's not that kind of class, but wow, thank you very much, JamPro. That means a lot to me. I do love to learn. It is something that is important to me. That's why I picked up a guitar. It's why I started doing all this studio stuff. Me and Apple, I love my tablet, but I don't know if I'm going to make music with Apple. I may just have to stick with the PC. May just have to stick with the PC. Um, so the second part of what I said there was that there's some new things out there too. There's some new programs and new shows that have to do with our community, but not with music, and those are fantastic to see. I love to see things like that, and the participation level of people coming up and participating in streams and lives and things like that. Fantastic to see. That is exciting. That will put new blood into our fishbowl because when at the end of the day we really are. Hey, Preston, welcome. Good to see you. And Pendar is here. Pendar with a broken foot. How is the foot, Pendar? I'm hoping that Mandar is taking good care of you still. Um, DJ Big Red in the house. Welcome, welcome. Look at this. All this kind of stuff. It's crazy. I didn't even think people would be showing up tonight. But I thank you all for being here. And, I felt crappy before. This is important to me. And the title of tonight's thing is kind of what I'm leading down this road to. Say something. I've never been accused of being the quietest in the room. Matter of fact, nothing could be further from the truth. Excellent, excellent. I had a chat with Mandar. We had a heart to heart, and I told him, take good care, Pindar. I'm watching you. And he said, hey, you got no worries. I got this. I mean, they didn't actually say anything to me, and we never actually looked at each other because we've never met. But, in my mind, that's how it went down. So we're cool, Mandar and I. So glad to know that he took good care of you. Yeah. Quiet isn't fun for me. I'm probably asleep. Yeah, that's kind of the way it is for me too. Um, and thank you all for being here. I know this is very, very late for some of you. Um, I'm trying to catch an in between time with this, and it's late for some in the U.S. and okay for some in the U.S. But I'm hoping that maybe some other areas of the world might be able to pop into this once in a while. Maybe I don't know. We'll see how that all goes. But the last thing I saw is changes in shows. Big changes in shows. And big changes in big changes in shows is what scares me the most. Now, I don't mean a change in programming or a change in the direction or even a change in personnel. They're about change that creates a wave. And there's been any number of things in the last year within this community that have created a wave within it. And the other times I've been privy to seeing it, I've said something. So I'm seeing it again and I'm saying something. No channels, no names, no nothing. We are all part of this community. Every one of us here belongs here and has a stake in what happens here. We have a fishbowl here for the most part. Now, every so often, we find a new artist that comes in and rocks the world, so to speak, and that is fantastic to see. But when we see people pull away and people disappear that have been part of the community for a long time, that worries me and it bothers me. And I know life happens and sometimes things are like that, but sometimes life doesn't happen. Sometimes things happen and waves happen in our community, and it makes it difficult for some. And oh, I know that. That's why there's no shows mentioned here. I'm talking about us as a community, 100%. Everyone that participates in this, whether you're a 1A community that happens to like the music that you find here, or you're someone that just likes to come and hang out because there's good music here, or you're interested in music. I don't care why you're part of this community, but you're part of it. And that's who I'm talking to here. I'm talking to and about them, myself included in this. But I'm not going to sit by and not say anything. I'm not going to sit by and see something be upset that doesn't need to be. I think we can all learn from each other. There are some people's music in this community I don't like. They don't know who they are because I respect them as artists. Their music may not be for me. I may not be able to listen to that. I got a volume, I got a mute, I got an off, I got other windows, tabs. There's a million things you can do. Saying something isn't something you have to do. So that's a case where saying something isn't necessary. I encourage people not because I think it sounds great necessarily. Often I do. Texas jackdaw. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you try and do better. You try and do better. Oh my goodness. I just want to see people just realize that it doesn't have to be a schoolyard. It doesn't have to be my monkey bars are taller than yours or my pencil's better than yours. It doesn't have to be any of that. Now, why would I bring all this up, and why would I even think I have anything to say about this? What kind of a pompous ass am I? Well, I'm an opinionated, judgmental, abusive prick. I'm also an asshole. I have insight into this because many of the things that I'm talking about relate directly to the life and past I've been sharing with you, because many of them are the tools and the things that I used to abuse, control, and change what other people do. Manipulation. Some of it was overt, some of it was passive aggressive. But it happens, and I don't like to see it. And my promise to my victims and myself, but mostly important, my victims and other victims out there, is that if I see things like that, I'll say something. So this is me saying something. Yes, my mother knew I was a dick when I was born. That said, I was named after my grandfather, who all of his life was named Richard, but went by Dick. So yeah, matter of fact, his nickname was Dickety, and I'm probably gonna get banned or something for saying those words, but that was really his nickname with many folks, and no one called him Richard. Everyone, brothers, my uncles, cousins, everyone called him Dick. So. Yeah, it doesn't. You're right about that. This is good, Preston. Lift up, never punch down. Good way to be. I do know when to keep my words inside or choose different ones. Here at home, I was talking to someone about this today. Yeah, it's that's why it was important to me to not. I'm not trying to single anybody out. Anybody that's listening to this, either live now or in the replay, and you feel guilty or bad or angry or something, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. I'm not singling anyone out. I'm not talking about channels. I'm talking about our community as a whole. Hey, Mitch, welcome. Doc, woof. Good to see you. The dog paw in the house. There you go. See, we gotta like our Canuck friends. We have to, because they're cool people right there. I love that. Thank you, Keebler. So that's what makes me an expert. that's what makes me have something to say, and why I think I have something valid to bring to the table in this time of what I see potentially as a crisis. Because if we self-destruct ourselves as a community, we'll no longer have a community, and it'll go the way of so many other communities. We have a very unique and wonderful place to be here. I've made it no secret as I've done my lives and talked about my things that I believe this community is responsible for saving my life in many ways. Maybe not in a direct way, like I wasn't gonna, blow my brains out or do some dastardly thing to be unalive, as they say now, because that's the politically correct term for committing suicide. Um, yeah, that's not an option for me. Never has been, never will be. Minnesota. Wow, what a difference. You're going to go from Texas to Minnesota. Minnesota. Don't you know? They get a lot of snow up there. Don't know if you're ready for that. Of course, they get snow in Texas. That's the best. That's the best accent I got. That's the best Minnesota I can do. At least the way north Minnesota. Home of the Great Prince. Yes. That's cool though. That's a long ways away from Texas. It's a long ways away from everything except Minnesota and maybe Canada. Don't you know? Yeah, there you go. I suck at accents. That's why I just use my own. It works better that way. There's a couple I can do. I'm all right at, but mostly those are dumb ones when I'm being completely stupid. So anyway, I don't know if what I'm saying is going to get through. I don't know if it'll make a difference, but the words have been said, and no one should feel like I've singled them out, because I haven't. No channel, no people, no direct incidents, nothing. You might argue that's a lie by omission. I say it's leaving out unnecessary, frivolous information that doesn't need to be there, because it becomes accusatory in its own way, regardless of how I'm speaking about it. It doesn't matter, because what I say isn't really what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the effect that what we do and say has on other people. Now, it doesn't matter if that's an outright abusive act or not, or if you just had a bad day and that's the last time you want to hear the word moist. You're done. Just try not to do it out there. That's all. I live in a relatively rural area. Oh my goodness. I don't know what a Behringer ADA 8200 is, but I bet it's a cool musical thing. And I bet Jampro knows what it is. So, I don't know what any of that stuff is. All I know is that my stuff sounds better. See, I don't even know what an ADAT is. An ADAT is, I'd have to look it up. I really would. Oh, okay. Got it. And you know what's funny? Because of my hearing problems, it's better now because I have better control over what I hear. But I was considering buying a used rack mount type headphone. Not that I need a bunch of headphone amps out, but I have the little I had the little, and it's actually a Behringer, and it's a piece of crap. I don't know. It makes noise. Mmm, that sounds very delicious. Elisa's digital audio tape. Ah, cool. Cool. Now I know what that is. Excellent. Now, Elisa's, is it the same Elisa's that makes keyboards and such? And musical stuff? Is that the, or is that just happen to be a coincidence or a parent company or some other division? I'm asking stupid questions because I'm learning new stuff. Yes, sir. Cool. Nice. Nice. That's awesome. Never knew that. That is super cool. Oh yeah, I worked with him all the time back in the day. Back when Joe and I, we'd be in the bar, and Joe would pull out his ADAT, and we'd start fucking around with it. You know, yeah, I worked with him all the time. Anything you need to know, just ask somebody else. No way. Oh, that's a trip. ADAT's recorded on VHS videotape. Wow, wow, wow. Back in '83, sync was not an issue since it was just basically a tape machine, right? Now, is this what created the hiss sound that people are now trying to recreate because it's not recorded? This, or is am I a million miles off base? A bit off base. Yeah, yeah. No worries. Okay, so that's an analog tape. Shelly, welcome. Good to see you. So nice to see you here. Thank you very much for coming by. We're past all of my say something stuff. If you want to catch that or you weren't here for that and you want to be, you'll have to go back and check it out. I said my piece and I'm done. Now we're just kind of talking. Now we're teaching the Falcro what things are like the ADAT for the Alesis digital audio tape stuff that was recorded on. So many cool things to learn. Huh. That's cool. Now, does every time somebody says anything about optical, I immediately think of like optical audio in the fiber optics realm. Like I got the little square connector hootie thing that's on the back of one or more of my TVs, and I can plug it into the sound bar via that. Um, okay, cool. I guessed one right. $300 a reel. I'm presuming that the width of the tape was supposed to equal the quality, or more tracks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In my brain, that was what more content meant. You could pack more stuff. on the tape. Very cool. Kind of like is this same principle IMAX movies work on a screen thing? They got super wide and they can do the big. I don't know. I'm just making that up. And that's a video thing, not an audio thing. Oh, okay. So you could have a 4 track that was cleaner because the tape was wider with more space between the tracks. Or if you didn't care as much about that, maybe that could be a 6 track. Or I'm making that up, but it's a principle that I'm getting at. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool, cool. That's awesome. That's super awesome. Man, I love learning new stuff. Crosstalk, meaning noise between tracks that were, well, from my background in radio, I would call it bleed over from an adjacent channel. Yeah. Yep. Nice. That's so cool. Nice. It's always about manipulating sound. I think it's funny. I'm gonna get off on my AI rant because I happen to like AI. We've always used AI in some fashion or another because we've always looked to improve. Um, you know, arguably a lighter is AI, a match is AI. There were a time when nobody knew how to make those things. There was a time when nobody knew how to make a guitar sound inside of a computer either. Not a good one anyway. Um, and now I, I'm of the opinion that most people can't tell the difference. Maybe trained ears like Justin's, professional trained ears like that. But if auto tune is not used as an effect in a track, in other words, it's obvious that someone is altering their voice for an effect on the track, then I will notice it. But if it's done subtly, I can't hear it. Oh, you're a broadcaster. Very cool. Uh, and when I say radio, I do want to be sure that I make clear I'm talking about amateur radio. I started out in Citizens Band and then became interested in ham radio. My call used to be KB7SIX, Kilo Bravo 7 Sierra India X ray. But I never did any commercial broadcasting or anything like that. It was all just amateur radio stuff. Skip talking and playing around with Morse code, trying to use lemons to power it up, and fun stuff like that. Yeah, and I don't have a problem with you making it. I mean, okay, if you want to hear live performances, go see an artist live. If you can't go see the artist live, but you still want to hear the live performance, buy the live album that the artist puts out. Otherwise, you're not going to hear them live. You're going to hear them in studio. Studio albums are that. Studio albums are manipulated to be perfect. When I go to listen to a band or an artist, I don't expect to hear what I heard on the recording because I'm not going there to hear a recording. If I hear the same thing as I hear on the recording, I'm highly suspect of that. Oh no! I mean, I know they're kind of an outdated piece of tech in this case, but that doesn't mean it's not usable. Yeah, I've been going through my tech and this mess behind me here. The stuff that I just have stuff I don't need. It's stuff I'll never use. Um, The old Mac. I would like to find somebody that I could give that to. I don't care to make any money on it. It works perfectly, but it's not gonna work for what I want to do, and I don't want to learn how to update it and fool it into thinking that it can use the latest system so I can put GarageBand and this and that on it, because I just don't think I'm gonna go that direction. But I also don't want to just throw it out or send it to the recycler, because it's a good computer. It works, but it's 2011 technology. But for someone that had nothing, it would be a godsend. It would work. Little musical interface or an iRig or something like that could be hooked up to the iMac, and it would run that. It would do that. There'd be other ways to make GarageBand happen. And Epiphonium. Nothing. We're just sitting around talking about music tech. Fun stuff. You mean like Metallica did? Uh, they were pretty famous for that in the GarageBand days. They had a lot of underground tapes out there. How would I know that? Mark's GAS, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Oh, Justin, I'm been meaning to send you a message. I'm going to send you a message back about this MPC Mini or APC Mini, whatever the hell. What is this goddamn thing? APC Mini, Akai, APC Mini. There it is. Um, it, it's a really cool little MIDI board, but Marshall tried. We got some of the functions to work a little bit through a lot of trial and error. But anyway, I'll send you another message. Tell you what I had hoped to use it for in the original. Oh, cool. Yeah. See, and there's a perfect example of why I don't want to throw it out. I don't want to say I don't care if I make any money off it. Jesus Christ, I don't. It's money I spent a long time ago for an experiment. I don't care anymore. Um, okay, cool. Cool. That's kind of what I was hoping for. It's just way past my tech ability at this point. And like I said, Marshall helped me get a lot of this stuff working, but it was never designed to work with what I'm using. It was designed to work with Ableton Live, which I got a free copy of, the free version of Ableton Live, and no, it didn't work for me, so I never used it. Marshall introduced me to Reaper, and I've stuck with it ever since. So, vote for a cow. Oh, cool, cool, nice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Is that a Beatles song? Everything's a Beatles song, right? Right? Didn't the Beatles write every song in existence? So I'm still trying to figure out how you can own a scale, but that's all right. Or a series of notes. Um, that seems like I'm not trying to start a new rant, but that seems like a bad way to go. Seems like a bad precedent to set. Um, I kind of like to keep music as music. Those 13 notes. Just like them to be what they are. I think it's 13, something like that. Oh, yeah. I think their songs ride horses in England to this day with armor on the horses, not the songs. The songs don't need any armor because they're, you know, they're tough. I focus on whatever does not get me arrested. Good advice. Good advice. I was playing around. Jam Pro inspired me. You can see I got my ticker there. You have found confessions. So I was playing around with some other stuff. I had done this one a long time ago. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible. Um, but I did this one here. I got a lot of work to do on this, but there's a lot of names that need to be added to this. So don't look at this and think that it's finished. I was just playing around with some ideas. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, Jam Pro. I've been playing around, doing stuff. You inspired me to do that stuff. Oh, that's okay. Don't you ever be sorry for telling Beatles dad jokes in my chat. I love you, brother. Come tell Beatles dad jokes every day if you want. One of the channels I watch on YouTube, Fab Rats, they were just sent paperback book full of dad jokes, and he gave a few. He gave a few examples. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I got to figure out why this TV does not sense that it has a signal. Hang on a second. Yeah, I gotta dig down into the menus of this. This TV one, the new old one, the 4K wants to shut itself off. I'm using it. It's got an active open screensaver window on it from Windows and Reaper's over here, and I've been manipulating using stuff in Reaper. Every so often it just says, "Hey, I'm gonna shut off in 1 minute." So there's something in the menu that I gotta figure out to make that shut off. I'll get there. So I just got the remote for it, and I haven't really dug down into it. And all three of these TVs that I'm using as monitors, these two are both Hisense. The 55 up here is Hisense, and this is also Hisense. They're about a year apart in age. But this one right here, my 32, that's a Vizio. So I understand why these two remotes fight with each other a little bit. Turn this one on and turns that one off, turns that one off, turns this one on. But it also does that to the Vizio. What a fuck. Come on. Do we need more numbers? Are we running out of numbers? Can we not put new we not inject new numbers into the digit for the codes so we could get some different codes? You know. I mean, if I could make one remote do everything on all three, that would be fucking tastic. But yeah, that doesn't work that way. Turn on the millennial mode. Your Windows system displays sleep features, shutting it off. Maybe. I don't know. I think I have those all turned off in Windows, but sometimes when I do updates, Windows changes itself to like it's changed my Chrome browser to that Bing bullshit or Edge or whatever the fuck that thing. Um. Anyway, so I don't know. I need to dig down into some of those settings and see. If you turn off millennial mode, it will let you make your own option selections. All right, Tim, take care. Thank you very much. Keep making those lives. Don't quit. It's a curve. And I'm telling you, it's going to be one of these, and you're going to ride it because you can do it. If I can get to this point in this and learn as much as these people have taught me, you can figure out this live streaming stuff because you already know most all this other stuff. So take care. Be smooth. Be smooth. No, be well and stay smooth. There we go. So. Oh, yeah. StreamYard, for the most part, does everything I want. It's a little bit limited. I have to watch my time because of the 20 hours a month thing and that sort of thing. But I just can't justify. I think it's almost 300 a year. I don't know. I haven't looked it up for a long time, so it could be different. It might have gone up or down. I don't know. But it's not, you know, it's just not something for me. But I do like the features of it. And since I have made the transition over to StreamYards I've almost completely done away with using OBS. StreamYard does most everything I want it to do. So, oh, is the hours easy to get around? Yeah, I would imagine so. But you could still, I mean, I guess, I mean, you can still do your overlays if you use a virtual camera from OBS. Then you can double up the program and use OBS for your production, and you can use anything in that pretty much. I think you can do any kind of PNG or anything. Oh, that never occurred to me, but that's very good. Oh, we pull the audio out of the stream. Yeah. I mean, I can do a lot of stuff. Once I get my green screen thing done, it'll make my this background will all change, and I won't. I may still use the blur, but I'm going to use it in other ways. Um, so yes, yes, Doc is to blame. Doc is to blame. Dogpaw created and helped build the internet. That's and now he's apologizing for that. But then it's we wouldn't have met. We wouldn't be able to argue about whether real amps are better than amp sims. And I would have missed so many fun and amazing things if you hadn't made this fucked up place we call the internet. Ah, I see. Epiphonium. I almost forgive you. I love it. I love it. Oh man. What was the thing that Al Gore kept getting all the jokes for at the time? I can't remember now. That's one thing. One thing. I'm not getting political, I promise, but that's one thing that politics does depend upon is the fact that we will forget. And I'm proof of that. So I'm gonna start summing this up. I saved my piece early on, and like I said, I got done with that in the first bit. If you want to go back and if you want to go back and hear what I had to say, then go back and listen to that. If you don't, then just chill and be cool. I guess to sum everything up, let's just keep being amazing and cool to each other, and maybe sometimes make just a little bit more extra effort to. I don't want you to lie to people because we all know I try and tell the truth all the time now. That is really a goal of mine. But sometimes a lie by omission, if you want to define it that way, is a better way to go. I personally like to be surprised. I don't want somebody to not keep my gifts secret for my birthday or Christmas or, whatever they'd want to get it for. It. So I'm okay with it in instances where it's done for the better good. The better good of humanity. Yeah, yeah, little signs. Yeah, yeah. You could probably do a CSI investigation and, forensically examine the plate. Probably find out. Probably find out. It's 100% the best way to go. It doesn't matter who it is or what they're doing. If you don't like it, turn it off if it bothers you. Because there's some things I can't listen to. That's why I said that. I'm talking about me, everybody, all of us in our fishbowl here. Because we are in a fishbowl. And it can get like your class in school. My monkey bar's better than your monkey bars. Can't play on mine because you're not part of the club. Let's not be a club. Let's be a community. Let's just be the community that is responsible for saving my life and maybe the lives of many others. The community that brought me out of my shell and gave me enough backbone to sit here and talk about the abuse that I laid out to my family 25 years ago. The things I did wrong in the hopes that it'll make a difference for somebody else. So, there you go. So, anyway, thank you all. Thank you all so much for being here. Remember that you are all rock stars. I'm not going to do the thing there on that. It doesn't really matter. None of that stuff does. I'm going to do the rock sign thing like this, tell you all that I love you. I'm going to get out of here, and there's probably a really cool live stream coming up with some really badass motherfuckers in it. So stay smooth, stay good, and be well.